Let's talk about artificial intelligence because, there are so many people talking about super AI and rogue AI and all these things. And the page 104 of your book, On the Future, you spoke about, you wrote, would a powerful futuristic AI go rogue? And would it learn enough ethics and common sense so that it knew when this should override its other motives? So you talk about ethics. You say that this hypothetical super AI should be equipped with the ethics. But my question is, which ethics? Is it Christian ethics, communist ethics, anarchic ethics, or new atheist ethics?
Well, I think that is a big challenge for those who control it. Let me say that I worry less than some people about these science fiction scenarios. I think AI has important positives and negatives in the short term. The positives are that it does enable us to control better things like traffic flows in a city or electric power grids, where you have to process information and respond to it very quickly. And indeed, it would be of huge benefit to, say, China, if they wanted to have a planned economy, and they could have a planned economy of a kind that Marx and Stalin could only dream of, because they can now monitor every transaction and the inventory in every shop, etc. So they could use it for that purpose. And also, in the short term, there are concerns about leaving decisions to AI, because the AI learns from a large data set, and it incorporates all the biases that went into that data set. And so I think we should be reluctant to leave a decision on whether we are sent to prison, whether we are recommended for surgery, or indeed whether we have a good credit rating from the bank to a machine. Because even if a machine can be shown to, on average, make better decisions than a human, we feel that we'd like to be able to contest and query a decision if we don't like it, and get an answer we can understand. Because there's always an uncertainty about whether there are some bugs in the program which aren't being taken account of. And that's already been found in face recognition techniques. It turns out that you can confuse a AI in face recognition in a very subtle way. And so that's a real danger.
If you wear those masks for...
Even a small change in an image can have a big effect on the response for many of these programs. And so I tend to think that it would be quite a long time before some of these more futuristic things come about. For instance, even something like fully driverless cars, what's called stage 5, where you can sit in the back like having a chauffeur. People used to say that would come within 5 years. I don't think anyone thinks that now. We can have driverless cars in controlled environments, on a grid of city streets, for instance, but not in all weather conditions, all traffic conditions, etc. That's further in the future. And going back to machines learning, the problem is that they can absorb data at a huge rate, but they can really only get a feel for common sense by watching real human beings. And the trouble there is that everything we do is very slow. It's like us watching trees grow. It's very slow and boring. And so the data input which goes into a machine from watching actual human beings doing real things in real environments is too slow to be very effective. And that's why there is a problem in getting machines to have what we would call common sense. And this is a limit to the amount of discretion that we should give them, really. And we should be beware of a situation where the machines are too much in control.
I think we're having also a hard time understanding what common sense is, and also what intelligence is. And these are big questions in philosophy.
Of course, yes. And as you say, the ethics is a matter for dispute and is very culture dependent. So that's a very big problem.
I had a discussion with a senior director from DARPA, and at DARPA they work on very advanced technologies, and so one of them is artificial intelligence, and recently they came up with a thing called alpha dog fight trials, where an AI system was basically piloting an F-16 fighter jet, and they managed to beat one of the best pilots in the US. And all the media were scared. They said, oh, AI is going to take over, we're going to have the next Terminator and all these things. But I think the lesson there was that AI can be part of the human endeavor in terms of collaboration. So AI can help humans for tasks that are repetitive and boring.
Well, that's right, and can process information much faster and do calculations faster. Those are the advantages. But of course, robots are still clumsy compared to real people. I mean, a machine can beat the world chess champion, but a robot can't move the pieces on a real chessboard as adeptly as a child can. And so there's a long way to go before robots are as good as we are in actually handling things, and as good as, say, a squirrel in jumping from one tree to another, and things like that. So there's a long way to go before the interaction of robots with the real world is good. So I think it's going to come, and there are great values. And since I'm interested in space, of course, the main location where robots are going to be far better than humans is in space, because humans are ill-adapted to being in space, and it's very expensive and risky to send them there. And so my personal view is that the case for sending people into space, the practical case, is getting weaker all the time as the robots get better. And they can explore for us, and they can assemble structures in space under zero-G, etc. And that'll be a very exciting development for robots.
And because you spoke about robots, I want to ask you a question about autonomous weapons. We have autonomous weapons, defensive autonomous weapons. For example, in Israel, there is the Iron Dome, which is a sort of a defensive autonomous weapon. And then more recently, there was the issue of super swarm drones. Swarm drones, so lots of drones that maybe you can give them a task, they go and attack an objective, and it's going to be very difficult to defend from those things. Do you think these should be classified as weapons of mass destruction?
Well, one should certainly try and inhibit their development, just like we try to inhibit the development of biological weapons and chemical weapons. In the same way, it's going to be very dangerous if we do have robots which fight each other and use facial recognition to identify an individual and then kill them. This is the kind of thing which people talk about, and I think we need to do all we can to slow down those developments, just as we've tried to with chemical and biological weapons.
Thank you for listening to this conversation with Professor Martin Rees. So if you enjoyed it, please leave a comment below, like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and support this channel on Patreon. This podcast is also available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can find the links in the description below. Thanks for watching.